My name is Dharma, and today I will be sharing my testimony with you. So growing up, I always went to church on Sundays with my mom and my grandma. I learned about Noah's Ark and that Jesus died on the cross for our sins, but it wasn't like I was really getting an in-depth story of who Jesus was and everything. And my dad, on the other hand, was more of a Christmas, Easter kind of guy, so he didn't really always go to church. So I did that for most of my younger years, and then after a while my mom and my grandma started working on Sundays, so I didn't have a ride to church. So a few years later, by the grace of God, my mom was like, hey, why don't you call your aunt and you should go to church with her? And so I said, sure, I will. So I started going to church with her, and I really liked it. I met the youth pastor, and it was just really a really great time there. And so during this time, throughout my high school years now, my home life started not going so well. So alcoholism was a thing. My parents always fought, and it just wasn't a place where I wanted to be. So I made church my safe house. So I would always want to get out of my home and go to church now. So I started connecting with the youth pastor, saying, hey, before youth group, if you are picking up food, can I go with you? Is there anything you need for youth group that I can help you plan this week? Just things like that. So throughout the year, she was like, yeah, come help me. It's totally fine. And it was always my safe place. So after a while, I was like, okay, Mom, I know who Jesus is. I know that he's so amazing and that I want to be baptized to be with him, and I know it. And my mom's like, well, I want to make sure you know, that you really want to be baptized. So I said, okay. And it took a little while, and I was like, all right, Mom, this is it. I know for sure. So then my mom was like, okay. So then I got baptized. As we kept going throughout my journey, my junior and senior year of high school, I kept working with the youth pastor, and I started helping to lead. Whenever she was away, I was able to help take over some lessons, and just lead more things with youth group and help her plan a lot of things. And I really loved that. I got to know more about Jesus, but also I got to be more involved at church. So then God led me here to UCF. And so moving to Orlando, I knew I wanted a church home, because if I wasn't at a church, something was missing in my life. So the first weekend I was here, I went to a church that was similar to one back home. And I was like, okay, this is an option, but I'm still church shopping. So then I also wanted to find a VBS. So I found Delaney online, and it just so happened to be the perfect week before school started that I can do a VBS. So I went, debated 30 minutes in the car before I should go in and see. And then I decided, hey, this is where God led me. So I walked into VBS, and Richard paired me with AJ, who is the adult leader of preschool. And so AJ and I talked, and it was really nice. And then the second day I came back, and AJ was like, hey, a few of us are going to Gainesville. Would you like to come with us? Mind you, I thought he was the youth pastor, so I said sure, because I wanted some more friends. So it was AJ, BJ, and Reese and I went up to Gainesville. We helped AJ move out, and then we came back. The next day and all the days after, they were really welcoming, just because we really got to know each other through that trip and everything. And they were always like, hey, come back to church, come back to youth group. Why don't you try it out? Just see if you like it, since you're still looking for a church. So I said, okay. So I started coming to church on Wednesday nights, Sunday mornings, and all that, and it was really great. And I started to really love it. So during the school year, I talked to Richard, and I was like, hey, can I just come in and talk to you? I don't really know many people, and I kind of like this church, so can I just stay with you for a few hours after school? He said, sure. So I started hanging out in Richard's office every day after school, and just doing homework, talking to him, talking about career and life and everything. And so he realized I wanted to be an elementary education major. And so we talked about where I am in my faith, and God was like, yeah, you really should be a teacher. And he showed that Richard how much I really enjoy kids and everything. So Richard gave me the amazing opportunity to help out with Kids Beach Club. And so that's when I started to become a leader for that. And then he also showed me Awana, and I knew Miss Renee, and so we were able to partner up for the preschoolers. And that whole experience of just finding VBS, going to Gainesville, and then coming to Delaney was all God. And it was really amazing. So then that's when I found Delaney, and I made it my church. So then now going into, or actually now that I've been at Delaney, I've been able to work with Awana Kids Beach Club. I'm the Sunday school teacher for the second to third 3-year-olds, and I'm able to dog sit for a few families, and I've babysat, and so God's really just put me in this amazing place where I am at Delaney. Going into the future, I want to make sure I'm still able to teach here, but also just teach kids in general about who Jesus is, and just share my love and his love to all the kids that may either come to church or in our community. I want to become an elementary school teacher, so that's what I'm in my degree for at UCF. And I also just want to just keep living life here and with church. I love Delaney here, and God has really made it a nice ride for me. So yeah.